I have not recorded a video in like forever. So I'm a little bit nervous. This is not like scripted or anything. It's just been forever that I recorded a video. I used to post a few videos. I think it's been a year that I talked about my experience at Trine University. I talked a little bit about my life as an international student living in the United States. So for those who don't know me, my name is Milla Schneider. I moved here to the United States about probably 10 years ago now, and I was an international student for a long time up to the beginning of this year. That's also part of why I'm recording this video. Recently, in the beginning of this year, I became a permanent resident in the United States, so that means I got a green card. So things have been a little bit different. It's been a crazy year, and I've been receiving some comments still on a video I posted about Trine University. Sometimes I get comments on the video that I posted about being an international student in the United States and some of like general tips that I had. I also received a few messages on my LinkedIn from students that are either like struggling, some students that are considering Trine, or they're already at Trine University and they just want to connect, or they have a few questions. So I wanted to say that I really love receiving these comments and these messages. It is very meaningful to me when I receive comments and questions and messages on my private LinkedIn to connect, because I think I have a lot that I can help with and be a resource, and I really want to be, and I really want to be there for other people. I am starting soon my last semester at Trine University. I'm finishing my master's, my MBA program. I think my first video about Trine, I was still really enjoying the program. Now that it's basically coming to an end, I'm more disenchanted with the whole thing. Maybe it's also because of burnout. The program, however, I feel like it got really hard. Please let me know in comments if you also are a student at Trine University. Do you feel like your coursework became excessive, like really hard, about 8-9 months ago, maybe a little more than that now? Because I felt a shift personally that my classes start to get really hard, just like a lot of coursework. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I've been writing like non-stop for my classes, like papers and discussion posts, and have like so much reading. And I think that kind of threw me off. I think the master's program is really good. I wouldn't say it's not, but it's very academically focused. This video is not scripted like I mentioned, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is all gonna be like a lot of word vomit. I also wanted to talk about what's been going on for the past year in my life. I also moved. Me and my boyfriend, we became engaged, and then we got married a year ago. I don't think it's out there on my social media yet. I told myself that I'm only gonna post this on social media once I am able to visit my family in Brazil and celebrate with them. After that, me and my husband went through the whole green card immigration process. That was easier than I thought it would be, I'm gonna be honest. So I am no longer technically an international student. Now I'm a permanent resident of the United States of America. But I don't think I'll ever not be an international student in a sense, right? This is part of my story. I was a student for a long time. I did my whole undergraduate here in the United States. I never, growing up, thought that I would ever live in the United States of America. It was not my dream. It wasn't even a thought in my head when I was growing up that I would ever live here. And things just happened. I got a scholarship, I went to school, and after college You know, I did the whole OPT thing, and I worked for a tech company for a little bit as a data analyst. And I applied for the STEM OPT extension. I moved to Salt Lake City, all the way from New Jersey. I just put everything in my car, packed it up. I heard that Salt Lake City had jobs, tech jobs. So I put everything in my car, and I drove all the way from Salt Lake City, like my car packed to the brim. Even my plants, I still have a plant from New Jersey in my house. Actually, I have 2 plants from New Jersey in my house. And I came here to Salt Lake City, started working for a bank as a data analyst. And then I worked for another bank as well as a senior data analyst this time. That was my most current job. And that's when I decided to go back to school, start my master's. I decided to go to Trine University. You heard a little bit about my reasoning for Trine, but if you're new here, I went to Trine because I had the opportunity to be in the master's and learn, and at the same time apply the stuff I was learning to my job through their CPT internship program. And for me, that was really important. First, I wanted to study, and I also wanted a job. I mean, of course, who doesn't? Like any capable adult wants to learn and wants to be employed. And I also wanted to be able to do both as an international student, and Trine allowed me to do both. So I've been a data analyst for the past 6 years. Since I finished college, my first job out of college was as a data analyst for a startup company. Then I became a data analyst in operations for a bank here in Salt Lake City. So I worked for them as their data analyst for the whole operations department. At some point, I was their only analyst on board, for at least here, like locally, for like 500 people in operations. It was like completely crazy. And I had a difficult experience with that company. When I say that I've seen everything an international student can see, and I've been through everything, like I think I mean it. That company was the first one that sponsored my H-1B application for work visa here in the US. I was in the H-1B lottery twice with them. If you don't know, the United States has a quota on how many worker visas they issue in a year. So if I'm not mistaken, it has not changed. I'll do some research. The number is 85,000 visas for work visas every year. They do a drawing. It's like literally by luck you get the chance to be selected for your company to submit all the paperwork and pay all the fees so you can get that work visa. It's actually temporary. It doesn't last forever, right? It doesn't grant you permanent status in the United States. You don't become a resident. It's a dual intent visa that they call that. So I was in that lottery for 2 years with this company, and I did not get selected both times. And then that company also told me, they promised me, it was not in writing, but they promised me that they would do a green card application on my behalf. So they would sponsor my permanent residency here in the country through employment. And when push come to shove, right, when it was time for them to show up and do it, I got all the documents together and did everything the lawyers told me to do. Their lawyers would not answer me, and I'm not joking, like radio silence from the lawyers. Every week I would email them and ask how it was going, if they needed anything, if they had started the process. Nothing. I started CCing my manager. I started CCing my manager's manager. I talked to HR like, hey, like what the heck is happening? You guys need to do this for me, right? Like you promised, you started the process, where is it? That's when they had layoffs. Since during the layoffs, they laid off workers with a similar type of work requirements that I had. So they probably laid off other workers that were doing analytics or something related. They said that they could not file my application anymore. So they hadn't even filed it yet. It was like over a year of them just like stalling and procrastinating and not answering me. That's when I decided that even though I loved my team, I loved the people I worked with so much, I loved the office culture, I did not love the company as a whole, their culture. They were doing a lot of layoffs. Even recently, like every time I open LinkedIn, I see that they laid off more people. It's crazy. They lay off everyone all the time. So I decided that I wasn't feeling that comfortable in that culture anymore. And that was actually during the time that I decided that I did not want to submit myself to that anymore, to being on the hands of an employer, of a company, to depend on this company to sponsor my life here in the United States. I decided that I'm a very competent professional, and I am very confident in what I'm saying. Like, I really stand by it. Us as international students, we are really smart. We're really resilient. We came from another country to here. Like, that's already like so out of the curve. Like, you left your home, you left where you grew up, you left all your friends, you left all your family because you wanted to get the best education that was possible to you. And really, I got amazing education here in the United States. I got amazing opportunities to grow my career. I got amazing friends. I got access to things that were unimaginable growing up where I grew up in Brazil. But I decided that I did not want to submit myself to being on the mercy of a company anymore. So that's when I decided to get a new job and don't ask for sponsorship at all, for employment sponsorship, for a green card, for nothing. I just decided that that wasn't the path for me, for myself. That was a really hard moment in my life, and I was really sick. I lost like 20 pounds in a month because I was just having so many stomach problems. I couldn't eat. I was so stressed out. That was when this whole thing was happening with my previous company, that they didn't sponsor my work, my green card through employment, that they said they would, they didn't. I didn't get selected in the H-1B lottery, and I was just feeling so sick. I didn't know what was happening. I was in the ER once with like severe pain. Like, they gave me fentanyl on like the IV. I didn't even know that was a thing. When the nurse told me that they were gonna give me fentanyl, I was like, what is happening? Am I gonna be okay? Because we only hear about fentanyl in the news, right? But actually they use it for extreme pain management in the hospital. And that was when I decided, like, I'm quitting. I'm out of there. I don't think it's worth it to my mental health to be at the mercy of any company there or like anywhere. And I started looking for a new job. I knew that I wanted to do a master's degree, and I knew that I didn't want to do it in Brazil. So I had a feeling that I was going to do this master's here at Trine University in the US, work for the whole process, and go somewhere else. I was thinking maybe I was going to go to Canada. I was thinking maybe I would go to Brazil and try to work at Deloitte or something. You know, use my work experience and my fluent English and my data analytics background to get a career in another place. Maybe even like Germany, that crossed my mind. France crossed my mind. So many things crossed my mind. And I was also really sad because I met this boy, you know, that always happens, and I really, really liked him, like, so much. We were basically like living together at month 4 of our relationship. And he went to Brazil to meet my mother, and he saw where I grew up, and he saw where I went to school when I was a kid. And I loved him so much, and I was so sad that, you know, I would probably not see this relationship through. But I told him, listen, like, I don't want us to get married just because of that. I love you, but like, the only way I'm gonna be here in the United States is like marrying you. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't want to marry corporate America. That's what I told him, I think, like verbatim almost. That I did not want to marry corporate America. Like, I refused to marry corporate America, and I would marry him if it was right and if we wanted to be together. Or at the end of my master's program, I would go somewhere else and I would not stay here. I loved my career, I loved my friends, I loved him so much, but I would not marry corporate America anymore. And that was really hard. And we actually, like, a year ago, got married, not because of anything else but love, because he knew I loved him, and he loved me. And I knew I was gonna be completely okay if I had to go somewhere else. I even told him, like, you can come with me if you want to somewhere else, but I kind of gave up on that American dream, and I think the minute I gave up on it, my stomach problems started to get so much better. It was so much stress. So if you're going through this whole immigration thing, like, I hear you. It is really hard. If you have a work visa and you're going through the green card sponsorship process, or if you didn't get your work visa, or if you're in the process, and I know there's different changes coming up, right? Depending on if you're filing from outside the country, like, the companies have to pay a different type of fee, and if you're filing from here, it's a little bit different, but now all the companies are required to pay, like, in accordance to a certain base or a certain average. So it is not easy. I feel for you. I don't have a lot of, like, advice on that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have a lot to say on that. It's just really hard. I think you hear from me, you might feel a little bit discouraged. That's not the intention here. I think every single student that comes to this country from somewhere else is a warrior. We go through so much, and most of the times we're speaking a different language, and most of the times we have to work super extra hard because we're not giving the same opportunities for employment. For example, getting these sponsorships is so hard. So, like, you are so brave, you're so strong, and if you decide to stay and stubborn and you want to go through this whole process, like, I stand by you. If you want to go somewhere else where you think you can build a life, a career, and have stability more easily, I also stand by your decision, because that was me just like less than 2 years ago. And again, let me know if you have questions. I know I said a lot. This was not scripted. I just wanted to talk. I've been getting messages and comments, so I just wanted to show up. And it's kind of weird, kind of random. I think it's been a long time since I've made a video, so I feel a little bit embarrassed. But I'm just excited to be back. I've been thinking, and this is just an idea, I've been thinking about 2 things. First, if you're interested in having a one-on-one call with me, I'm thinking about opening some type of coaching for international students who want to understand their options and their chances better, and how to work in the American job market and get an opportunity, how to tailor their resumes, how to talk to potential employers, that also makes a difference, how to present themselves to like the world around us. So I've been thinking about having some type of coaching on it for a few people every month. If that's something of interest, like I would definitely charge a fee, but I don't want necessarily to make it inaccessible. I just want to make sure that whoever talks with me for an hour a week for a certain period of time or whatever we decide on isn't just doing it for funsies, you know, that is actually committed to creating a plan, sticking to a plan, having goals, and having just measures and having results. So we can talk about what makes sense. And then my next idea is I met brilliant people at Trine University. So I kind of wanted to have a couple calls with some of these people I've met and get to hear from them and also showcase to other people here on the internet, right, what their experience has been. I think that the people I met at Trine University during my in-person classes, so we have in-person classes every semester, they have been just like absolutely amazing. I met people from all over the world. They're very relatable because we've been through similar situations, like every single one of us. And we are really like a super brilliant group of people. If you're interested in hearing from them, let me know as well. All right, I talked a lot. I word vomited, so I hope that was helpful.